Hi, I'm Dr. Andrea Adams-Miller, and we're here with the science of influence, why traditional PR falls short. And I am a publicist, a neuroscience, often referred to as the chief visionary and strategic influence officer for different companies, athletes, CEOs, celebrities, influencers. And let's talk about that. So let's cut through the noise. Traditional PR is broken. That's right. It's broken. And I get it. I'm someone who understands how the brain process works, how we process information, how we build trust, and how we make decisions. And really, here's the truth. Most PR firms rely on outdated, one size fits all tactics that simply don't work. What do they do? Mass pitching of journalists. Ugh, they delete. Generic messaging, ignored, and relying on exposure to build influence. And honestly, that's a waste of time. If your messaging isn't scientifically designed to grab their attention, to build trust and drive action, it's already failing. So, why traditional PR falls short? Most people think that PR is just about getting media coverage. No, that's not it. PR is about influence, the ability to shape perception, to create authority, and to make people trust and remember and engage with you. And the problem is that traditional PR doesn't factor in how the human brain actually processes information and messaging. People don't respond to more exposure, they respond to strategic influence. And influence doesn't come from throwing your name out there like spaghetti on the wall. It comes from structuring your message in a way that the brain can't ignore it. How the brain processes media and messaging. So the fact is that our brain is hit with about 6,000 marketing message per day. And that increases if when you're on different platforms where the information's coming in hot. And our brain filters out 99% of them. Delete, distort, it happens. So why do some messages stick and others just disappear? And that's because the brain has a priority system. It prioritizes information that's emotional, relevant, trust driven. In fact, I always say if it's not red, there's your challenge. It's relevance, enthusiasm, and delivery. You got to have all three. Now, the human brain isn't looking for just more information, it's looking for signals to tell it, hey, is that important? Is that trustworthy? Is that worth my time? If your PR strategy doesn't trigger those signals, your message, it's invisible. So, the future of PR using brain science to build influence. Well, this is where scientific messaging strategies change everything. This approach blends cognitive psychology. This is how our brain processes information and behavioral science. It's what drives human decision making, emotion, and persuasive communication. The science of influence without fluff, real, authentic information. And why this works? Because it speaks the brain's language. The human brain responds to patterns, structure, and emotion. It's not a generic corporate speak. It doesn't jive with that. And it builds trust instantly. Trust isn't built just by showing up. Now, showing up helps. You got to show up first, but it's built by using strategic framing and authority positioning when you show up. It also makes people take action. When messaging is designed around how the brain makes a decision, people don't just listen, they act. So, the bottom line, if you're still using traditional PR alone, you're playing a losing game. Traditional PR is a losing game. The future of PR isn't just more exposure. Sure, more exposure is great, but it's scientific influence. It's strategic exposure and strategic exposure with the right words and the right messaging. So, in the next episode, I'll show you exactly how to structure your message with brain friendly persuasion strategies so you actually get the results that you were looking for. So, to learn more about how to make your messaging impossible to ignore and ready to remember, go to www.theredcarpetconnection.com and listen in. I am Dr. Andrea Adams-Miller, and I would love to have you join me.